Hello and welcome to Gunners Daily YouTube channel, and thank you for joining us because today we have a great topic to discuss, and that is Roy Keane's latest comments regarding the current level of quality in the Premier League so far this season. So, what did Roy Keane exactly say? Well, speaking on the Stick to Football podcast, Roy Keane said, "The standard of the Premier League hasn't been great the past couple of months. Some of the goals we were watching at weekends is so poor, a lack of quality. Manchester City are excellent, there's no doubt about it, but the other teams need to sort themselves out. I still can't see beyond Manchester City." It's worth mentioning that this season, just 3 points separate the top 5 teams in the league after 12 games. Man City sit top by a point, just ahead of Liverpool and Arsenal, with Spurs and Aston Villa just behind them. So, if we compare this season's league table to last season's table after 12 games, this is what we get. Leader Arsenal had only 2 points more than the current PL leader Manchester City, and you could basically say that only City and Arsenal were a serious contenders for the Premier League title last year, with 3rd place Tottenham being 7 points of Arsenal and 4th place Newcastle already 10 points behind the league leaders. So, comparing this simply based on the position of the clubs on the table, we can clearly see that this season the league is more balanced and competitive than probably ever. But I know what you're thinking. Having more teams being this close to each other doesn't necessarily mean that the quality has gone up. It simply means that more teams are currently playing on the same level, more or less. If we take a look back at the quality of play, or better said, quality of football shown to this part of the season, game week 12, last season it was clear to everyone that Manchester City and Arsenal were in their own world. They were just 3 levels above everyone else in the league, no doubt about that. And I would even dare to say that for the bigger part of the last season, 2/3 of the last season, Arsenal played by far the best football in England, and they were the best team in the country during that period. Say what you will, I'm obviously biased, I'm an Arsenal fan, but don't lie to yourselves. We were absolutely annihilating opponents last year, and how we lost that title in the end, I still don't know. But let's get back to our current Premier League table, the one from 2023-24 season, where you have Manchester City, Liverpool, Arsenal, Spurs, and Aston Villa. All of them inside 3 points on the table. So without any doubt, the league, at least so far till this point, is more balanced and attractive to watch for the neutrals than it was last year, period. But quality-wise, I don't know. I will probably get a stick for this, but in my opinion, Manchester City haven't even been close to that levels that they had at the end of the last season, when they played some brilliant football. And in the last 2 or 3 months of the season, they pushed for the Premier League title, FA Cup, and UEFA Champions League. At least that's how I see it. No offense to them. They are once again first on the table. They are playing good, but not super good like it was for the past few years. Something's just not clicking there yet. They sold a lot of good players. They once again changed some things in their system. And even though they aren't playing some top quality, brilliant football at the moment, they are still first in the league after 12 games. So, after losing Riyad Mahrez, Aymeric Laporte, Joao Cancelo, Ilkay Gundogan, who else? Is that it? I mean, you could add Cole Palmer, but let's be realistic. The point is that they are still first in the league after 12 game weeks. Shocking. But if you watch their games against Chelsea, Arsenal, and even some games that they won, they struggled massively. I don't know, I just don't think at the moment that they look like a well-oiled machine. But we all know that at the end of the day, it is Manchester City, or better said, it is Pep Guardiola, and if they get their shit together, they could easily pull 15 wins in a row, like always. So let's now take a look at some of the other teams below them. Arsenal and Liverpool, who are, I think in my opinion, the biggest contenders for the Premier League title this season alongside Manchester City. I think Liverpool and Arsenal are basically the same this season. Both teams can win against any team in the league, including Manchester City, but also both teams can lose points when you least expect them to do. So I think it will be a balanced season between the two of them and a pretty balanced fight. I don't know if that's just me, because I really don't follow many of the Liverpool accounts or news outlets across social media. But to me, it seems like no one is taking Liverpool serious in their discussions about who is going to win the Premier League this season. I mean, for fuck's sake, before the season started, I've seen more pundits and journalists put Man United to win the league ahead of Liverpool. And I just don't get it. Yeah, sure, at the moment, Liverpool are grabbing their results piece by piece, just like Arsenal. But hey, they are still here. 1 point behind the league leaders Man City, just like Arsenal. I thought they did a good job in the summer transfer window, bringing in Dominic Soboslai, Alexis McAllister, and who else? Ryan Gravenberg. I don't know. It's just weird to me that no one takes them serious. Or maybe that's just what I've been hearing and reading. Share your thoughts down in the comments. Can Liverpool win the Premier League title this season? Realistically, I'm interested to hear what you think. And then, taking a look back at the current table, you have Tottenham, Aston Villa, Man United, Newcastle, Brighton, even Chelsea, who are 10th, are slowly but surely starting to grab some traction. So yeah, the league is more balanced than ever probably, with all of the 20 clubs spending big during the transfer windows. At this moment in time, it is really hard to predict anything. Who will finish in the top 4 this season? Probably harder than ever to predict, because you have so many good teams who are playing some great football week in, week out, and they can beat anyone on their day. So, to get back to our starting question, is Roy Keane right? Is there really a lack of quality in the Premier League this season? Well, the answer is probably yes and no. The teams are more balanced and the league is more competitive than ever, but other than potentially Manchester City, if you watch the other teams and how they are playing at the moment, we don't have any other team who you would think they are playing some world-class football and they would definitely finish in the top 4 this season. That is just how I see things at the moment. But now, let's read out some of your comments from this morning's post on this topic to hear your opinion on Roy Keane's latest comments. Avisha Kakash says, reality is, even on their bad days, City look good and control the game. That's what the difference is of a good team and great team. That's why they have ultimate consistency and bounce back capability. They will lose 4 or 5 games and draw 4 or 5 games max in whole season. Their consistency of going 90 plus points isn't talked enough because of the jealousy producers in English media due to their progress and consistent success. Last season and this season, City are in transition with replacing 5-6 main players of their starting 11, but still managed to pick up treble, and this season again, who knows what they can win. Unreal, smooth transition. Akanji, Ake, Stones, all average turned into another level of great. Even Rico Lewis, Foden, Oscar, Bob gonna wreak havoc in future coming from academy. And I agree, it's not talked about enough how smooth this Manchester City transition has been. Absolutely true. Just Jay says, I'm happy with Arsenal. They haven't clicked yet this season, but haven't lost a game in the Premier League. That's consistency. I don't consider that Newcastle loss as a loss. It was more like a robbery. Daniel Chin says, I agree we got robbed at Newcastle. We can only get better. Like my brother said, we haven't been playing as well as last season, but once we do click, other teams better be watch out. Shubham Pen Pandey says, why is nobody talking about Liverpool? They made excellent midfield acquisitions. I think it's a 3-horse race with Arsenal, City and Liverpool. And I agree with you. Shout out, my man. Why is nobody talking about Liverpool? I just don't get it. And I agree. I think it's a 3-horse race this season between Arsenal, Liverpool and City. Rosemary Mario says he's watching Manchester United too much. Joe Houston says, voice of reason has spoken. Arsenal need Neto plus Tony plus healthy Partey to be considered for the Premier League. Jordan Davis says, Arsenal can more than stop them. We have the tools. We just need 1 or 2 more signings. Havertz was a risk we did not need to take. I agree. I still don't see the point in signing Havertz, but we already discussed about that. Snooty says, the league will only balance out once Pep leaves. Please, God, let it be soon. I agree. Logzanda says, time will tell who need to sort themselves. James Rutherford says, I agree Man City are massive favorites, but he's speaking nonsense about lack of quality. The quality has never been higher across the board than it is now. The newly promoted teams are poor this year, but aside from that, anyone can take points of anyone playing some good football. And Liverpool and Arsenal are both looking pretty similar to City in terms of quality so far. Let's not forget that if VAR was being used correctly, both those sides would be either level with or above Manchester City now. Okay, The Rod says it's hard to disagree. Robin Love says, considering Arsenal were undone by a atrocious ref decision at Newcastle and the Chelsea they would easily have been top whilst having 5 key players injured. It's early to call it Cities. Arsenal have controlled XG against better than City this year. Hardly Rice says, disagree with Roy here, the fact that the top 5 teams are close on points to City means the gap has closed on them and City looks beatable. I agree, City does look beatable so far this season. Cornelius Orgi says, it's only the level of VAR that is low and crazy and absolutely a disgrace for some of the goals that allow. It is only the level of VAR that is low and crazy and absolutely a disgrace for some of the goals they allow to stand. Shibanima Gaming says, he says this to hear attention so he keeps relevant, to be honest. City this season look awfully at the back. Game against Chelsea proved that. Both them teams defensively are awful. Chasfer Think says, I disagree with the lack of quality. On average, the middling teams have greatly improved. Newcastle battered PSG 4-1. It's just closer at the top and further away down the bottom. Ian Lai says, Arsenal will nick it at the end. We're ready this year and Man City lost some key players. OK4760 says, I don't care what pundits think, to be honest. That's why I don't listen to commentary. And Far From Paradise says, there's definitely a lack of talent in football today. And that is basically it. Most of your comments have been read out, so tell me, Gunners, you who are watching this video, what are your thoughts on this? Is the level of Premier League down this season? Write down in the comments because I'm really interested to hear you out. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel for more daily content, and Gunners, see you on the next one. Peace!